Welcome along, fellow Dark Magician enthusiasts, to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a deck profile, but mainly what I'm trying to start doing now, called a meta-analysis, just try and provide my opinion on what the meta's what's the next step going forward, for next month, and then we just keep going from then. We just do that every single month when we hit the speed cog. So before we get into the deck itself, because I'm not going to be doing a very long profile, it's just going to be very quick because it's pretty much the same as my previous profile. I want to give credits to Yami Matahari for cooking what I consider to be looks like a very fun deck. Excuse me, sorry. Minus the use of Inheritance, because I'm not a big fan of Inheritance. If you can't get 2 spells into the graveyard, then it just does nothing. But this looks like a very fun list. I tried this out, I tried my own version of it, and it's really fun. The only problem with this list is that the current meta, trying to play this in the current meta, it was just way too oppressive. Way too difficult to try and get this to work, which was unfortunate, because I wanted to hit KoG with a fun version like this. I still have it in the works. I'm still gonna try and do it. We're gonna have to wait until the ban list takes effect. So, excuse me, sorry. Which we will discuss the ban list in a moment, but first, we're gonna have a look at the deck. Now, extra deck, we are no changes for extra deck whatsoever, except, shiny card. That's all that's changed with the extra deck, just making the card shinier. This extra deck was good for the current, for the meta in November. Once the meta changes on December 5th, sorry, I'm probably going to end up changing this link package, because mainly, changing this extra deck, because mainly, what Ningirsu was here for, and Security Dragon, was Bish Balkan. When some flow decks running Bish Balkan would just lock you out of the game, not a great feeling. So this was always just a backup option in case someone tried to Bish Balkan lock me, and then I would simply say, well, you are now getting hit hardcore. And I would just absolutely destroy Bish Balkan boards, because they think it's funny to use Bish Balkan. Bish Balkan is a degenerate card in Duel Links. Just not good at all. It's not good for anything. But yeah, so that's the whole extra deck there. I got 4 fusions here, but you only realistically need to summon 1 every duel. Sometimes you might end up summoning 2, which is why Fusion Recovery is in here, but sometimes having 2 on the field at the same time may not be the most optimal. Reason being is because when you're playing turn 1, you have 4 cards in hand, and you have to get rid of one of them to get Buster Blade onto the field. So you got to put back a card, get Buster Blade on the field, and then you can start, making Dark Cavalry and stuff. But if you had 2 Dark Magicians and Fusion Recovery, you'd be able to make the Dark Magicians and Dark Cavalry in the same turn. Excuse me, sorry. The only problem with that is that you have to take a blind draw into your deck and hope that you pull Dark Magical Circle, or even Eternal Soul, or even Book of Eclipse, or even Forbidden Droplet. And you would only have 1 Dark Cavalry negate. That's it. Once that negate's gone, you're just gonna have to leave it up to your interruptions to work. So it is a risk. But yeah, Dark Cavalry or Dark Paladin on their own are typically much stronger than, say, Dark Cavalry and the Dark Magicians on the same board. Usually just a ton of negates for your opponent to try and burn through can be tough for them to get rid of, unless they have a Kaiju and just get rid of your monster. It sucks, but that's what it is. So yeah, nothing's really changed. 2 Apprentice for damage boosting and slight consistency. 3 DM because you need 3 DM. Gotta have a Buster Blader in the deck. 1 Forbidden Droplet I've seen a lot of good use out of Droplet. I only need one. The Battle Chronicle build that I was doing had 2 of them, mainly because like you'd be drawing into so many cards, and you would just have excess, and you could just use Forbidden Droplet, just get rid of a bunch. Oh, excuse me, sorry. You could just use Droplet to get rid of a bunch of cards and get a bunch of monsters, and then keep refreshing things and keep going from there. Droplet can be good. Can be very good. If you pair things well, things can work out really well. 3 summoners are mainly because we need starters. We do not have enough starters. Especially for Bane of Darkness, your only starters are like Summoners are Apprentice Illusion Magician, Dark Magical Circle if you get lucky with the top 3. And if you really, really want to, you could try Allure of Darkness, but then you run the risk of banishing one of your DMs, or possibly sending your entire hand to the graveyard, and then you just instantly lose. So it's a gamble. Yeah, 3 Summoners are, like, you need that. 3 Circle, of course, because it's the one card that is your interruption, like constant just banishing your opponent's stuff every turn. Yeah, like you just need it. 2 Book of Eclipse instead of 3. Book of Eclipse is still really good. Being able to just flip down an opponent's entire board and then crash into it, like crash into every single monster to OGK them, does wonders. Does wonders, especially against, like, I know I was having trouble, like with Battle Chronicle, trying to play into Ancient Warriors. Ancient Warriors was just kicking my ass with Battle Chronicle, like, just, you know, couldn't really do much about it. But with Dark Cavalry, Book of Eclipse, just flip them all face down. They can't really do anything to stop you, and then you make Dark Cavalry, use Diffusion Wave Motion on Dark Cavalry, and just smash into every single monster. And they cannot do anything whatsoever. Like, just can't stop you. It's good stuff. 1 Piece in the Darkness. I was running 2 before, but I'm only running 1 now. So, like, it's... excuse me, sorry. Like, you have less chance of bricking on it if you happen to draw both of them. There is less chance you do draw into the though. But this is really good for, like, when you summon DM every single turn. You keep refreshing your hand, keep refreshing Dark Cavalry's negates. Really good stuff. Also, nice attack booster. 1 Dark Magic attack. Clutch card, just nuke your opponent's entire back row. Or if you really need to, you can just use Eternal Soul to grab Dark Magic attack for an extra negate. And yes, I have done this. I have done this before. There's been times where I've just gone, you know what, activate Eternal Soul, add Dark Magic attack for an extra negate, and it's like the one decision that's helped me win the duel. Sometimes it does cost me though, because they go, Eternal Soul on the field. Looks like I'm gonna get rid of that one. Yeah, good stuff. As I said before, 1 Fusion Recovery. Don't need to make 2 monsters all the time. It's just there as like an extra more option. So like if you make Dark Cavalry turn 1, you have this in your hand. And you don't have like another spellcaster in hand, you can just use Fusion Recovery to grab Polymerization and DM for 2 negates. That's really what this is, just more discard fodder. It's good stuff. And 2 Eternal Soul, because again, best recursion, best interruption every single turn, and it is really, really funny to watch an opponent try to do everything possible to Dark Magician and nothing happens. Some opponents figure it out instantly. They're like, yep, Eternal Soul has to go. Other opponents take a while to figure it out until they look at my cards, read them, and they go, okay, Eternal Soul's the problem. I have to get rid of that one instead of targeting DM all the time. I had one Predaplant opponent do everything possible to Dark Magician, and nothing happened because I had Eternal Soul on my field. They did not read the card. They just kept trying over and over and over to try and get rid of it. It just wouldn't work, and they eventually surrendered, like, after they noticed, like, I could just keep bringing DM back, and, like, nothing could hurt DM. It's funny stuff. Eternal Soul, funny card, but good card. I like it. Like, if you're playing Bane of Darkness, like, you absolutely run 2, or even 3 if you really want to. Good stuff. So, that is essentially the deck profile there. Now, in terms of meta, if we go to our submitted deck list, which there is going to be a lot, and we filter by King Games deck, you guys are going to see examples of, of decks. See, like, already you can kind of tell, like, what's coming up. You got Lyrilusc. This is what a Lyrilusc deck looks like before this ban list takes place. Like, you can just run 3 Canary, 3 Cobalt if you really want to, 3 Turquoise Warbler. You can run limit 3 spells and traps. Needle Sealing, very, very annoying. And you can just, yeah, it's a really, really annoying deck to try and play against. Another Lyrilusc deck. Lyrilusc Unlimited is just way too strong for this meta. It's essentially like they have so many starters. They have so much. Hang on, let's go back. So if we look for Lyrilusc, oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so you can see, look how many Lyrilusc decks there are that have hit King of Games. See, this was the problem before the ban list. Imagine running Super Polymerization, your Kaiju in Predaplant, and a Lyrilusc monster. This was the most annoying board to try and break through. The fact that Predaplant could just go, you know, have Super Poly on field, have an instant Kaiju you can't really do anything about, and have a Lyrilusc that just stops from taking damage for the entire turn. Really, really oppressive. Really annoying. Really irritating. Yeah, so, like, look, there's so many, and like, show next 20. There's just so many cards that you, like, so many decks that just utilize Lyrilusc. It is really, really, like, just nuts. Like, look how there's so many decks that made it to King of Games with Lyrilusc. Lyrilusc is the most oppressive deck I have ever seen since my time playing Duel Links. Like, just very, very oppressive. Sorry about that, folks. So, I found a deck list I'm going to talk about here for Lyrilusc. Just an example of, like, how oppressive this deck was and how it completely warped the meta around it. So, this is what an unlimited Lyrilusc deck looks like. So, like, 3 Barrel Canary, easy consistency. 3 Turquoise Warbler, easy consistency. You could run 2 or 3 Cobalt Sparrows, just to get all of your monsters targeting protection. Celestine Wagtail would grab your Bird Sanctuary. You know, Bird Call, consistency. Mystical Space Typhoon, like, just to stop people from playing any kind of back row whatsoever. 3 Book of Eclipse, so that, like, if your opponent tries to attack directly or just tries to, like, you know, do anything, you can just flip them all down, and they can't do anything about it. And you would just be making Nightingale to just attack your opponent directly constantly. You'd have Ensemble Robin bouncing your opponent's monsters constantly. Recital Starling. If you combine it with Assemble Nightingale, you could just smash into your opponent and deal them all the damage. Like, have them take all the damage. Even like Promenade Thrush, boosting Assemble Nightingale to crazy levels of attack points. Just extremely oppressive. Extremely oppressive, and very, very irritating to try and play against. Like, because as soon as Assemble Nightingale resolves, like, if that resolves successfully, if you can't negate it, you're gonna have to try and either find a way to clear the monster, like, get rid of the monster so that Lyrilusc no longer have access to it, steal it for yourself, or yeah, just surrender on the spot. It was a very, very irritating deck to play against, and was not fun whatsoever. And Lyrilusc was so oppressive to the point that a deck like Borrowed Link was just no longer viable. Like, it was power creep. Power crept insanely. Now Lyrilusc is getting hit hard, so that... Oh, excuse me, sorry. So that... Barrel Canary's on limit 3 list, so you could, like, you have to run 3 of this. Cobalt Thrower and Turquoise will be both on limit 2, so you can only run 1 of each. For consistency. Then you've also got Assemble Nightingale at limit 1. To stop other decks from using this card. Yeah. Lyrilusc was just extremely impressive to play through. And the next impressive deck to try and play through, Predaplants. Predaplants would... Every duel I played against Predaplants, you'd be watching the opponent play for like 4+ minutes, doing their combos. You know, doing their full combo, like if you were going second. And they could run just everything. Like, you know, Fusion Substitute for an extra draw, Fusion Recovery to keep going, Fusion Recycling Plant to make sure you grab stuff, a Searchable Super Poly, insanely nuts, Predaplanet, you know, make more fusions from the graveyard. Yeah, you got Link Monsters there. Oh, and you also got the Kaiju that you can summon from your hand or graveyard. And with the skill, you can just, you know, place a counter on a face-up monster the opponent controls. And the funny thing with skills is that even if a card is unaffected by card effects, skills don't count as card effects. So, like, skills can do anything. It's absolutely nuts. So, like, if you have a DM that's unaffected, they can use skill, place a counter on DM, and then boom, tribute with Hydra. Or like, oh, is that a nice dark cover you got there? Place a counter on it and tribute. You can't really do anything about it. Predaplant was just really, yeah, very annoying to play through. The only way you would be able to stop Predaplants, really, turn 2, is like you'd have to use Book of Eclipse to put them all face down and then just smash into them. Or even like if you're going first, you can't really do anything. Like, you just set a couple Book of Eclipses, hope that your opponent has none of their back row interruptions whatsoever, and then go from there. Because the one thing is, if Predaplants cannot draw into their back row, into their back row destructions, they cannot do anything at all to stop you. If you're able to just keep the duel going by constantly summoning DM, banishing their stuff, and just slowly delaying your demise to the point where like they can't do anything anymore and they're gonna run out of cards. Yeah, this was a very impressive deck to play against, but what the good thing is, Hydra is going to be limit 1 now, Super Poly is on limit 1 list, Predaplanet is also on limit 1 list, so essentially Predaplant is going to have to play either Super Poly or Hydra. They're not going to be playing the trap card anymore. Like, that's just not going to be happening. No one's going to be playing this whatsoever. They're going to be either using the Kaiju or the Super Poly. It just kind of depends on like what the next meta is going to be going forward. Which I do want to briefly touch on. The next meta is going to be extremely interesting. Where's the event list? Here it is. Oh, no, that's the Rush one. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Right. This ban list is one of the most interesting ban lists I've ever seen in Duel Links. Like, Summer Breaker being banned, good. Yeah, I've got 3 copies of it. I can't even remember the last time I used Summer Breaker, but this is such a degenerate card. I have had duels where people have used this against me, and so I've decided, you know what, I'm going to play around this. I've left it on the field purposefully, and it's destroyed their plans entirely. Like, I see Blue Eyes playing this a lot. If Blue Eyes can't get rid of this card, and you're able to play around it really well, they can't really do anything to stop you. Like, they try to summon 3 monsters, and it's like, boom, end phase. They can't do much to stop you. This ban list was really good. Lyrilusc was definitely smashed into the ground. Nerfed into the ground completely. Lyrilusc is not really going to be too much of a threat to many other decks. Like, there's going to be so many other decks that can easily crush this deck. For DM, this is still going to be tough, because if your opponent has Cobalt Sparrow live, you're going to have a very hard time trying to target cards, or target their monsters with card effects. If you can get rid of Cobalt Sparrow, then all their monsters are going to be wide open, and you can just do whatever you want to them. So yeah, for Lyrilusc going forward, you're going to have to get rid of Cobalt Sparrow. I am still going to be making my Lyrilusc video to, deep dive at analysis, casting at the meta. I still haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm waiting for the ban list to take effect before the video comes out. Phantasm will be very interesting to play against. Cyber Dragon's going to be scary, because the fact that now Cyber Dragon will be able to play Infinity and Overflow in the same deck. Like, this is going to be a very, very scary deck to play against, but hey, we'll see what happens. Ghost Trick's going to be interesting again, because I've faced Ghost Trick without Dark Cavalry, where they're able to just keep flipping my stuff, and it's I can't really do anything about it. The thing is, if they have a field full of monsters and their field spell is allowed to live, it's going to be extremely tough to try and beat Ghost Trick. If you get rid of their field spell and you got Dark Cavalry, you use Diffusion Wave Motion, they can't really do anything to stop you. So getting rid of their field spell, and also getting rid of any back row as well, is the way to keep these guys under control, but Ghost Trick will be interesting to watch. This Draco Berserker Synchro is going to be a bit scarier now. Excuse me. I don't know about Dogmaker Punishment, because it's an extra deck lock. A lot of decks rely on the extra deck. Oh yeah, Elemental Hero decks are going to be more annoying. Tech Genius, it's going to be interesting to see Tech Genius come back into the meta now, being able to use limit 3 cards. With this off the list, it'd be interesting to see what a Tech Genius deck with other limit 3 cards like Book of Eclipse, or even Needle Sealing, or even Crackdown, stuff like that. Seeing what Tech Genius can do. Dark Lord's going to be a bit scary, because if they make their fusion, you can't target any of their monsters, and they can just nuke your field. Going to be an interesting matchup. I'm very curious to learn more about this deck, so which I'm going to have to face it more in duels, and watch how it plays, and really get a good understanding of it. Yeah, Dark Lord will be interesting. And it's crazy that Light Sworn is going to be coming back. Light Sworn engines, really, this is just a good a good engine for graveyard decks. I know Orcus loves using this, and they're gonna have a lot of fun using this. Orcus coming back into the meta is gonna be interesting. Not too much of a problem, but annoying. But hey, I'm curious though. Light Sworn, I would love to see a Light Sworn deck and see how it plays and how I can play into it. Lunar Lights, I think Emerald Bird is on the limit 3 list. It'll be very interesting to see Lunar Lights with limit 3 cards. If I just check quickly. Yes, it is limit 3. So, Lunar Lights getting access to limit 3 cards would make Lunar Lights a lot stronger. But I don't know how strong. Be very interesting to see. So yeah, overall, looking at the thinking about all the meta decks overall, and even looking at the tier list that's listed here on Duel Links Meta, I'm just looking at it on my computer. This is it's gonna be a much healthier format. I think there's gonna be a lot of new decks coming up. Like, you know, we might end up seeing, I don't know if we'll end up seeing a new tier 1. Maybe Ghost Trick will get to tier 1. I'm not entirely sure. Borrow Link's probably going to come back into the into the tier lists. Sky Striker might shoot up. Flare is going to be really annoying to play against, but whatever. At least now with the skill restriction, there'll be more time to respond to their cards. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of words. I'm just drawing blanks, but yeah, I like seeing healthy metas. I don't like seeing a meta that is dominated by like 1 or 2 decks that just warp everything around it. And yes, I know we play DM, which is not a great deck. Like, it doesn't have many starters, can break a lot, and it's not that strong compared to a lot of other decks and what they can do. But hey, we do what we can. We do our best. Yeah, DM best deck. But that's gonna be it. Thank you for listening to all my rambling. We'll keep this DM journey going. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.